welcome welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah. Today we're going to do my Friday reads for the past couple of weeks, and let me tell you what, it's been a past couple of weeks. I had to get stitches. Sliced my finger open. We were helping our best friend's family put up a pool. I was trying to wedge a plastic thing into a metal bracket, and instead the metal bracket went through my finger. So I got 2 stitches in my knuckle and a tetanus shot. So that pretty much summed up last week. That was Thursday, which explains why I didn't film on Thursday for Friday reads. And then, honestly, my mental health was not healthing last week. It's just been a trend lately, it seems. So I just needed to take the time. So I did. I didn't actually read a lot, and I take that back. I did read a good amount, but a lot of it I just didn't like. So we're gonna really quickly, I'm gonna open up by just going, I'm just gonna hit the low points first. I'm gonna give you everything I read that's like a 3 or a 2 star, and we're just gonna move on from there. I think, actually, now that I'm looking, I think there was just the 2 things. Wait, there was something I read yesterday. What was it? I finished it yesterday, and I didn't like it very much. It was fine. It was fine. What was it? Oh no, now my brain's already just purged that from the banks. It's also early. It's not even 10 o'clock. What is it? No, it is 10. It's like 10:30. My husband took my daughter out to see the new Minions movie. And while I do want to see it because, maybe hot take, I like the Minions, I'm going to get to watch it, I'm sure, like 4 or 5 times in a week when it comes out. And we can get it on DVD or streaming because she has always loved the Minions. Even when she was like a little thing. She's 6 now and she still loves Despicable Me and the Minions. So they're gone and it's early, and this is not normally the time I film. It's also why my hair doesn't look like I've just been to the gym, because I haven't just been to the gym. I am distracting myself. What the heckin' was it that I read? Let's see, I've got 3 things that I don't really want to talk about because I didn't particularly have super strong feelings about them. But that would be Birth of a Dynasty, which felt very much like a setup book. It's got the traditional tropes of character sees the family killed, vows revenge, and then on the other side of the story you have a royalty, that in this case it's a princess, normally it can be a prince or a princess, who rejects royal norms and wants to be different, and then the two end up coming together. There's a rebellion, blah blah blah. This is a setup book. I didn't have super strong feelings on it, and I don't know if I'll continue the series because I didn't have super strong feelings on it. But if those are tropes you're not like super tired of seeing, or you really enjoy setup books, I would say put this on your radar. Maybe pick it up before the second book comes out. That way you can chain them together. Hopefully the second book will have a bit more action and plot movement in it. That's what I'm hoping, at least. And maybe you can enjoy them back to back. The next one was Something Wicked by Fallon Ballard. I genuinely, no disrespect intended, but genuinely think that the author of this had an idea for a sex worker having to help a prince who was intensely morally gray, and then gave little to no thought to world building and the actual like fantasy / science fiction of it all. This was primarily smut, which is fine. It's just not what I was looking for. I wanted a little more of a dynamic story, and a lot of it just, there were plot holes that didn't make any sense. Yeah, and I found the prince so morally gray. He wasn't even gray, he was just not a nice guy, and we didn't get a lot of time to actually understand or see a goodness to him that wasn't instant change, or it wasn't just red flagsville, right? So, not for me. That's alright. And then the one I couldn't remember was The Floating World by Axio. Absolutely nothing wrong with this. It was very much a YA fantasy. Again, the same sort of tropes that I mentioned in The Birth of a Dynasty. We've got a character whose mother died, she's got an adoptive family, and you've got a character who has no memory, and he's trying to recover his memory. They both kind of have this sort of quest thing going on because the girl ends up having to look for something to cure her adopted family. There were some like plot holes in this that I didn't like, or if you look, it's one of those situations where if you looked at the plot with a bright light behind it, like if you actually looked at the plot, it's pretty thin, right? It's like, oh, why is this general hunting this girl for no apparent reason when there are demons encroaching in the world and trying to kill people and actively killing people, and instead he's using forces to hunt down this random girl, right? So like, okay, it was fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I have another Axio on my shelf that I'm going to read. I have the Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I think that was her. I still want to read that. I've heard so many good things about it. So I will get to that hopefully soon. I have been trying to shop my shelves a lot more and also been going through my NetGalley a lot more. If you hear meowing, my geriatric cat is down here. I think she's losing her sight, so she looks for us. She wants us to talk to her. Hey, Minnie. I'm over here. Okay. What are you fussing? I see you. You want to come in here? Okay. She's just standing in the doorway staring at me. Anyway. So for the things I read that I really did enjoy this month, I read The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. Do you want in my lap? Once upon a time, you were a little scoundrel. Come here. I think I actually have a video on my channel of you knocking a cup of bookmarks off. She is technically... Ouch. She's my husband's cat. Look at her. If you've ever met a man and a cat where it seems like... This cat is a real life familiar. This cat and my husband have been you can't separate them. You can't separate them. He tries to work in his office without her, and she stands outside the door, or she just sleeps outside the door. She picked him, and that has been her person, hasn't it? Say, I love Jeb. Go on. Meanwhile, our other cat likes me. Not nearly as much as she likes him. What is it? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go give them some extra food. Okay. I fed them. I thought she had food, but her sister was in there eating all of the food, so maybe she can get in there and get some food. She's on the mats when she's done on the mats. What was I talking about? Interrupted by a little old lady. The Enchanted Greenhouse, Sarah Beth Durst. I did finish this. This was delightful. I really liked The Spell Shop. I read it a couple of weeks ago, and I moved on to this, and this was absolutely lovely. In The Spell Shop, we meet Kaz, who is a talking spider plant, and Kaz was created by a librarian, and we hear about her. Her name is Turlu, and she was turned into a statue as punishment for creating a plant for using magic when she wasn't supposed to, because there are harsh regulations in this world against normal people using sorcery. Well, she gets turned into a statue, and we see that at the beginning of the novel, and it's pretty intense, honestly, seeing the trial and everything happen where she's turned into the statue, and then moves forward in some time, and the spell on her breaks, and she wakes up in this snow-covered forest and finds an enchanted greenhouse, and it come to find out she was sent to this island to help this young man who, I say young man, he's a man, to help this man. He is the last gardener of a series of enchanted greenhouses that were created by this sorcerer. And the greenhouses are failing, and she was sent to hopefully fix them and stop them from failing, right? Because as they fail, it destroys the plants that were inside, and there's some unique magical plants in these greenhouses. She's not really a sorcerer, but she is a librarian, and she's good at studying, and she's smart, and she reads a bunch of languages. So she ends up helping him. This is very much cozy fantasy. The most intense part of this novel is the first couple of chapters with the trial for Turlu and everything happening. After that, it's kind of a smooth ride. I mean, we do have questions that we need answers to, and we are looking for the resolution, but it's not super intense through it. It's pretty much even keel. So if you want something like that, super cozy, go go into this knowing the first couple chapters are the worst part. I actually found them very intense. I was like, whoa, is this cozy fantasy? It is. It's just that she kind of front loads all of the attention in the front. The third book in the series, Sea of Charms, comes out on Tuesday. I do have an e-arc, and I intend to read that as soon as I finish what I'm working on. And I have it pre-ordered as well because I very much enjoy this series. I do like this. If you like cozy fantasy, this is definitely a series I would recommend. Fantastic little story. And there is a section at the end where she gets a spell book from where, I don't remember the name of the island that Kaz is on with the librarian he's helping. I can't even remember her name now. Caltray. She gets a spell book from Caltray and she sees Kaz on it and she's like, surely that's not my Kaz. And then she finds out it is her Kaz, and that, oh man, that was emotional. Because she's like spent this whole book both with guilt for having broken the law and worry about Kaz, who's been on his own without her because she created him, and then almost within like a couple of days she was sentenced and executed, given her punishment, and so he's just kind of been on his own, and she was worried about him, and having seen he was okay, it was emotional. That part actually almost made me cry because I love Kaz. And yes, there are more sentient plants. If you liked the first book and you liked Kaz, there's a whole lot of sentient plants. Don't do that. There's a whole lot of sentient plants in that one. Anyway, the other cozy fantasy that I read this week is The Halfling's Harvest by S.L. Rowland. I am now one book away from finishing this series of what's out. This one is, let me see if I can remember, Marigold and Poppy, I think, is the other one's name. Hello. Are you going to get on the table and mess up my stuff? You've got food. Yeah, you've got food. You can't really sit in my lap at the moment. I don't have pants on. I have shorts on and you'll scratch me. Anyway, it's about Marigold, who runs her family's vineyard, and she's kind of struggling with the fact that a neighboring vineyard has hired a druid who basically is helping accelerate the growth of their plants, and they've kind of adopted some more arcanely, forward-thinking methods of creating their wine, whereas Marigold's trying to stick to tradition. She's very community focused. She likes to have the community help, and in the halfling culture, that's very normal. You know, there's like the harvest festival, which is kind of where the title comes from. The community comes through and helps pick and smash the grapes, things like that. And this other vineyard's not doing that, but they're also still succeeding a bit more than her vineyard is, and they're winning these competitions and stuff. So the story is mainly about her learning that it's okay to not always win, right? She doesn't have to be number one. And she also, there's a little bit of a romance there with she's a halfling, and I think I think she's not a dwarf, a gnome. A little gnome comes to the inn because it's also a bed and breakfast. And she's also got other guests that impact the story. This is just an absolutely delightful little cozy fantasy. This continues the series staying very strong. Absolutely love this series as far as cozy fantasies go. And it was just a lot of fun. I did go ahead and order. Is it behind me? Roland? No, it's going to be over there. I did go ahead and order the next book directly from the author and got it signed. So I'm very excited to read that. And I think the other series I follow, there's a Kickstarter up. But this one does have the newest book announced. I think it's called Where the Dead Fern Grows, which I absolutely love that title. It's so funny. But I will be reading that when it comes out. So I love the Tales of Adrea series by S.L. Rowland. Highly recommend. I think once I read There Be Dragons Here, I might pick up his... I think it's a progression fantasy. If not, it's a lit fantasy. I'm not sure. Sentenced to Troll. I think I'm going to pick that up and try it. So moving on to not cozy. I finally finished Our Sister's Keeper by Jasmine Holmes. I started this when I got the aardvark edition I have back in April. And then I just never finished it. So I finally finished it. I didn't know that this is a bindery book. And the imprint at Bindery that had made it was, if you're a OG booktuber, or booktube watcher, you're gonna know. My name is Marinez. She is, whoa, back there. I think you can see it. I didn't know this was her Bindery imprint that created this. I liked this, but I didn't absolutely adore it. I think it was too short. It doesn't look quite very short, but it is too short, I think, for the story it's trying to tell. And I think we moved through time in a weird way. It didn't quite work. The pitch on this is that the Groanings are coming to East Cobb, and this new couple, specifically Althea, the woman in the couple, have just moved there, and she is facing down the kind of culture shock of moving to this town and dealing with the Groanings. Now, in reality, what this is about is a young black woman moving to this predominantly black town that is, how do I put this? They are fairly wealthy, well off. The town is in good shape, but that is because the men of this town give their memories and their burdens and all the bad things that have ever happened to them to a select group of women who carry those memories. They take that pain away and it manifests on them, and then they deal with it. And that's not any kind of a spoiler, because in the first 2 chapters you see this happen, and that's how this town has survived. And they have this very ingrained culture. The women are aware of it and they endorse it, and they kind of, they definitely encourage it, and they profit from it with little to no thought for the women that are taking these pains, these things on, and it does affect them. These young women die quickly, very quickly, and they can't leave, and there's all kinds of other stuff going on, and the women are like, oh, it's fine, they would leave if they want to, oh, it's fine, they love what they do. It's kind of a story about apathy, about looking down on others, finding comfort, and then not letting it go no matter what the cost may be, even if it's not directly to you. And there's a lot in here about history, especially of the Black experience in America, and it's dark and it's heavy and it's relentless in a way that, for me, I need moments of stillness and catharsis to kind of purge that building anxiety, because I don't handle it well. This doesn't have that, so that's why I started it, and then I stopped it, and I didn't pick it up for 2 months, because I was just like, oh my god, there's a lot of really heavy things in this. I don't recommend this if you have any kind of a trigger around this kind of topic, anything that might upset you in any way. They even mention it's kind of an infamous case in the South and in America. It happened more than once, I'm sure, but I know I've seen pictures of the lynching of a pregnant black woman and what happened to her, and then her baby, which was she was 8 months pregnant, so she was about to deliver. So it's heavy, right? It's not going to be for the light of heart. I went into it thinking there was going to be a hair more supernatural to it, because I prefer my horror to be supernatural as opposed to people on people, and this was much more of a people on people situation. There's very little as far as supernatural, except at the very end. There's a bit of a twist, some time jumps that we probably should have had a little more information about. I don't know. I say there's not a little supernatural. The very last climactic event is very supernatural, but that's it. Up to that point, it's all people on people. So I don't know that it was perfectly executed. I think with 100 more pages and a little more work, we could have had a much deeper and more, not enjoyable, but profound experience. As it was, it felt kind of surface level for what it was showing us. It was just bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, with no super deep thought or analysis of it. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan, but other people have enjoyed it more, so I would go seek out those reviews and see what you think before you pick it up. It was an Aardvark book, so if you have an Aardvark subscription, I think you can still get copies through Aardvark. So there is that. I think, it was the month that Japanese Gothic was out. If you got Japanese Gothic instead, this was the same month of that. So, I don't know. I gave it a 3.25 or something like that. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I thought it needed more work. Let's see. Finally, question mark, yes. So the last thing I have to talk about is An Inkling of Flame by Z.B. Steele. This is a independently published novella that is leading into his series that he's currently working on. I do not remember the name of the series, and my picture's a little too black for me to see. I'll put the thumbnail, or the image here. This was super short and really good. It's less than 100 pages. It's like, it's not even a novella. It's a short story. This is telling the story of a young man and his friends as they grow up in this little fantasy town, and they are called to service for the fox, which is one of the gods in this world. And at the end of the story, we see set up the character I think that the whole book series is about. This is an introduction to the world, not an introduction to the characters, as far as I understand it. And I really liked this setup in this world. This is basically a world in which one nation, these two nations are at war. One nation believes that the other actively killed one of their gods, and then the other nation, I don't believe, did, or they are hiding the fact that they did because they are repeatedly telling these other people, that's a lie, we didn't do that, there's something else going on, but this war is still raging. So I am looking forward to moving into the next book in this series. I have it on my shelf over there, but I have the old cover, so I might, I don't know, I'll read it, and if I really like it, I'm going to get the new covers, because the new covers are absolutely stunning. I'll see if I can put up a picture here. And he just came out with the second book in the series, so it is moving along well. I have a fear of, I love indie books, and I like to read them, but I am slightly afraid of them because I have picked up series before that just kind of stop. The author doesn't continue. So once the second book in this came out, I said, okay, I'm going to continue that series because I think he is actually going to finish it. But that is everything I think I have that I want to talk about for the past couple weeks. Like I said, not a whole lot for me. I can't bend this finger, so like it's kind of slowing down what I can and can't do, and my reading has just not been super intense. I apologize, but there has been, where is she at? Can you see her? Yeah, she's been sitting next to me, so I've been trying to pet her as I talk, otherwise she's gonna fuss at me. What I am currently reading, I am reading The Passing of the Dragon by Ken Liu and other stories. I'm almost done. Holding the book open is kind of a trial right now, and I just haven't had any physical book time. Absolutely still loving these stories. This might be my favorite collection of him so far. We'll see. And then I got a few books on ARC, and I started a new one. So I currently am reading, I got a January of 2027 ARC. At least I think it's set for January. That may be a placeholder date, but Galleria by Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know if any of you have read Chuck Palahniuk. His writing is weird. I haven't read him since high school when I read Fight Club. And I vaguely remember enjoying it at the time, but I didn't read any more. His stuff is like really graphic and visceral. And this is kind of feeling a little bit like an acid trip. It's weird. I think this is his first science fiction. It's coming from Saga Press, which is how I got a copy of it because I'm on their influencer program. And I like it so far. I do. It's weird. And I can see a lot of people not liking it because of his style and his voice. He's very much of the old school kind of like 90s voice. If you've watched the Fight Club movie or read the book, he's pretty much the same as he used to be, it feels like. I also got a few, I am also reading, this is also a love story by Sally Hayden, which is very heavy. It's a journalist's search for goodness in a cruel world, and she's been a journalist for a long time, and it is her talking about these war-torn and affected countries, what happened there, and how she finds, good things and love there, but it's not shying away from what's happening. The first essay in this was about Ukraine and the ongoing war there, and then the next one was about Rwanda, and then Uganda. So, heavy stuff, right? I'm like 40% of the way through that. No, Minerva, do not hit that. She's on the table now. Don't touch the camera. I got a e-arc of the Book of the Dead, which is the new short story anthology from Jonathan Strahan? Put it here. Then She's a Doll by Barbara Truelove. I'm very excited about. This is a haunted doll story told from the perspective of the haunted doll. So that's going to be fun. She Isn't Herself Tonight by Haley Piper. I've been reading a lot of Haley Piper horror. Absolutely love it. So I'm very excited for this one. This one's coming from Saga Press as well. I think those are the only... Oh, I got Hiroshima. I think it's 8/15. This is... I'm putting it off. I shouldn't. It comes out in a couple of weeks. It's going to be another heavy hitter. It's a journal entries of a gentleman from World War II when the bombs were dropped. So that will hopefully get read soon. It's very short. I'm actually going to try and read it this week, so we'll see. But that is everything that I have read. I am reading, and a few of the arcs that I got recently. I have been in a very clean the house mood. So I got rid of a bunch of books. My shelves probably look a little different. And I am kind of purging and stuff. So we'll see how things go. But that is it for me for this Friday Reads. I will talk to you guys again hopefully next week, if not the week after at this rate. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Let me know what you've read, if you have any thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll talk to you guys again later. Bye.